My name is Kim Simpson, and I work at West Middle School. I currently teach 8th grade ELA. The Triple E project I'm going to share with you guys is called Wind Turbines Proposal. This project came about when I won a Bright Ideas grant. My idea was to take our English learning from reading The Boy Who Harnesses the Wind and informational text and incorporate science and social studies into the project. So my students worked on researching online. They actually built windmill models. Thank you to the Bright Ideas Grant Corporation, all the corporations who donated for that. And they created presentations to sell the idea that we needed some sort of wind energy in Montgomery County. The cool part is, through online research, they also found out that Montgomery County is pretty much a leader in alternative energy sources. To engage, our students went online, read online publications for how windmills work. They researched the benefits of wind energy, but with every good thing, we know there's risks and challenges. So they use their online research skills to also find out these things, how windmills could hurt bird migrations, animals, risks to plants, and even humans. And the coolest part is when we started searching the geography of Montgomery County, because again, we're trying to sell the idea that wind energy should be a part of our county. And my students went through not just Google Earth, but Google Maps, layers, and they searched the whole county to find perfect locations for at least one windmill.
And then the hub part, that, and there should be, the cover looks like that, and then the base.
To enhance the learning with technology, we got into our collaborative groups because they got to choose their own groups to build the actual windmill models, but they also had to choose those same groups to create with. So they started using their research to build a presentation that would be used to basically persuade adults in Montgomery County to buy into this one windmill or multiple windmill idea. They were able to use either Google Slides, PowerPoint, or Canva to create these presentations on. And we had about equal amount of students throughout the whole 8th grade to use all the resources. The students also created Google Forms to share peer feedback because they wanted to know how they were doing along the process of building the project. So we used these forms to be very clear with our expectations of what we wanted to see, and the students got this information and were able to see their data and how they needed to adjust their projects to fit the needs based on what their peers thought. You can see here are a few pictures of the students working collaboratively building these presentations. When everything was all said and done, it was time to present. As you can see, here are a few pictures of a couple of my groups presenting their findings. They created very elaborate, informative presentations, which they also had to use speaking and listening skills, which was part of our ELA standards. But the PowerPoints and the Google Slides and the Canvas, they had to be inclusive. They had to use all kinds of digital formats to get the point across, not just bullet points. They had to make sure they had accurate diagrams, that they were using key information and not whole paragraphs. They had to make sure that their speeches followed along with what you would see in the corporate world when a business is trying to sell their idea. Here are a few more examples, just some slides from random student things. You can see where they did incorporate maps, pictures, diagrams, information. Several of my students even embedded videos of drone footage. They also included videos of how windmills work. And one student even found a science video to explain the risk to animals based on land-based wind power. The one I really like the best is this green one. My students actually drew out this map of Montgomery County, searched online for wind speeds, and found where the cities were to put the wind speeds in so they could say, look here, these are good spots for wind turbines. And finally, this project did extend the learning through digital apprenticeship. Students are working collaboratively to create at home. We had about 3 days in our class, but they knew they were still going to need to work at home some. So they, on their own, decided to use Google Meets, FaceTime if they all had iPhones. They use all kinds of forms of group chats to make sure they were all on task, that they were sharing their ideas. A couple of kids told me that they went on and found the diagrams and shared out with the group to see which diagram the group felt should be included in the presentation. We had kids sending links to each other, sharing research, even helping other groups out. They did a lot at home. So when they would come back to school the next day and tell me all these things they did, I was so impressed that they had took this to the next level. And at the end of this project, we had some major learning going on. Digital collaboration skills, obviously, they took it to the next level on their own. I didn't even have to ask. Online research skills, we definitely looked to see if something was credible or maybe we should research a little bit more. They were very creative in building these presentations, and everything that we did had a real world application. And that's the true goal of using digital learning in our schools, is that they can take it into the workforce. And I think my kids are ready. Thank you so much. If you ever have any questions about my project, feel free to contact me.